Fore play, sorry, Barstool Sports. We are back. It's Waste Management Week, so we got a lot to get to. A lot of energy. Scottsdale. Lurch is in Scottsdale now, I believe. Is that correct, Lurch?
That's correct. And there is so much energy in this place. I mean, it's packed and you show up to a town, you're like, all right, there's going to be 1,000 rental cars. I mean, that place looked like a bomb went off in terms of the rental cars. It's just everywhere. There's like soda cans just all over the floor. People are just finding the last car ever and getting out of the waste management. And then everybody I talked to was like, yeah, you're going to be there. You're going to be there. You're going to be there. And then obviously you were there yesterday, Riggs, and it looked like a phenomenal day that you had.
Yeah, yesterday, Tuesday, I mean, there's a lot of people already, tons of people at the event. There are rumors, whispers that they're going to have 400,000 people there over the weekend and that they're trying to have over 1 million people, spectators throughout the entire week. So obviously Monday through Sunday. That's just a lot of fucking people. That's just a lot of people to get into an event. And it's great. I mean, it's been a few years since Waste Management's been full. They had last year when Brooks Koepka won. There were some fans, but it wasn't quite the same. It was very much watered down. Now it's back. It's full-fledged. This town's been preparing for it for a while, and to actually see it and see the town and see every single restaurant, reservations you can't get, all the traffic lights where all of a sudden you usually could just buzz right through. Now, again, there's just backed up. So there's people fucking everywhere, and it's Waste Management Week. Yesterday was awesome. Went out there. Really no plan, no goal. We've talked a lot about PGA Tour tournaments and access, which we don't really have a ton. We can't put out much in videos, and whatever we do are problematic. And the PGA Tour is very protective of broadcasting rights. So we don't go to a ton of tour events. But yesterday, just having a credential, being out there with Kiz and Chappie for the first 9 holes that they played, and Bill Haas, who's a super nice guy. He came over, introduced himself. And then once again, it was one of those where he knew a bunch of Barstool references, videos that he'd seen, references for the podcast. So we'll have to get him on, but incredibly nice guy. And Kiz was out there, with Chappell, hitting it 30, 40 yards behind him, and like winning holes and chirping as hard as he could. So yeah, it was great to see Dewey, great to see the boys. And then as soon as they finished up, I jump over and there's like Pat Perez and Tony Finau. And PP is like, oh, yeah, Rickie, jump in with us. So you're just walking inside the ropes with them. Everybody's here. Fucking everybody's here. And then last night, went to Joel Damon, had Taco Tuesday at his house. So, like Max, he invited Max over. The postman was over there. So I just sat in Joel Damon's backyard having tacos with Max and the postman and Joel, his caddy Gino, who's the man. They're playing like cornhole. It's just like a fantasy land out here this week. It's overwhelming.
Any interactions with Tony while you were out there?
Not a ton.
We've had limited interaction with him.
Very.
He was very tight with the whole crew that I was with. But you never want to get involved in somebody's process. Like when they're preparing for a golf tournament, you kind of just stay out of the way. I almost leave the onus on them in that situation to sort of make eye contact and initiate an introduction or something. So I mostly just kind of stayed out of the way, hung around Pat. So I didn't really chat with him much. I would say nice shot shit when he had a really good shot. He'd be like, thanks, bro, and little stuff like that. But nothing substantial. Yeah, it'd be. And then,
hey, nice shot, Tony. Nice shot, buddy.
I was just doing that the whole time. Oh yeah, nice shot again. Dead fucking straight. That's great. But then that 18-year-old from ASU, Preston Summerhays, is in their group too. And he is just a fucking stick. This guy, this kid is, so on Monday, he hit it to an inch on 16. And 16 is still already pretty full. There's fans out there. It's intimidating. There's fucking music when you walk through the tunnel. And then yesterday, he was piping his driver on 14, I believe it is, 490-yard par 4, very tough hole. He outdrove Tony Finau by probably 15 yards.
Whoa.
So I know the college kids can uncork it, though. And usually the pros, they say they try to shorten it up.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Dude, he was piping the golf ball. He was locked in. He didn't seem to give a fuck about the fanfare. And, he's an ASU guy. So, everybody's chirping at him. Half the fucking people there are ASU people, so they know who he is. They know he's this 18-year-old stud. He's a freshman at ASU, and he was out there. He's a fucking freshman at ASU, and he was out there just
awesome.
striping the golf ball. It was really,
How
really cool.
good of a life is that? freshman at ASU and you're playing in the Waste Management Open. I mean, what a recruiting pitch that is. Because I don't think there's a tournament that's done it better. Like, yeah, we dog on the John Deere, and rightfully so. But, like, you talk about this echelon of tournaments. Like, I'm so fired up for the Waste Management. Like, it's, yeah, I think, has everybody played the golf course?
No.
No? I think the golf course is pretty good. It's not, like, epic, but the stands and what they've built around it makes it's like a can't miss event. I mean, it's so good. Like, I'm so pumped up for this weekend's golf tournament.
There were a lot of the players, too, talking to them. They are excited because of that, right? Like, we talk a lot about how we get excited in 16 and people are drunk and they're booing, and we get excited for that. It's the People's Open. It's cool to hear them get excited, and especially after COVID. Like, a lot of them were saying, a ton of our events don't have that much energy. Even we were out at Torrey Pines. Like, there's not that much energy. There's not that many fans. Yeah, when you get the last couple groups and you get a congregation of a lot of people, you could feel a bit of energy. But overall, it's a little bit kind of dumbed down, and it has been since COVID. The Waste Management, it feels like, is just rocking already. It's fucking last night, everyone was walking around there like, it's fucking Tuesday. Like, the week hasn't even started yet. People have already been out. They've been going to dinners. They've seen 100 people they know. Everybody's talking about the tournament, the stands. It's a bigger build out than it's ever been. They're literally talking about having 1 million people are going to go through the tournament, a fucking golf tournament. The weather's perfect. It's like 75 and sunny. It's like 50 in the morning. It's just been like perfect. The forecast is to be perfect. So
There's also concerts every night, though, right, Rickie? Like, it's the Bird's Nest. People keep talking about it. I don't know where that is on the golf course, but it's literally a nonstop party on a golf course where golfers just show up and play through it. Feels like.
Dude, how about they started? We got to talk about BetterHelp real quick. But how about they started Saturday night this year? Like, Saturday night, there was just a concert in the middle of the 16th hole. They built a massive fucking stage with 4 jumbotrons, one on each side, and a concert in the 16th hole. It was Old Dominion, who me and Kiz were talking about yesterday. Old Dominion has more awesome songs than when they're playing. You think that they stopped playing for a recess and that they put on the radio or Spotify or something, because so many songs that Old Dominion has are Old Dominion songs that you're just like, what? This is their song as well? It was unbelievable.
I don't know. Am I the only? I don't know a ton about Old Dominion, but what I know their songs. If I
nobody does.
Okay.
Nobody does. And then they play. Like, they play their songs and you're like, this is Old Dominion. This is Old Dominion. This is Old Dominion. We did that the whole night. And then Thomas Rhett played after that. So it was like 2.5 hours of fucking rocking music in the 16th hole on Saturday night of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Like, it was rocking, 4 days ago already. So Cole Swindell's playing tonight. He's a big friend of the program. So we're going to the Cole Swindell concert tonight. Saw our boy Colt Nost at dinner last night. He was kind of slinking around the old bar, chirping, trying to mooch off the table a little bit, coming on over. Like, oh, what are you boys up to over here?
You can see over the table.
Nice.
BetterHelp. So I know Frankie, our boy Frankie's going to get fixed this year. We're going to have a little fixing Frankie action. A lot of people are saying BetterHelp might be a huge part of that, Frankie.
Yeah, you gotta get your mental straight, and BetterHelp is, all jokes aside, a really, really incredible program. They even offer, we have a huge partnership with them at Barstool Sports, and the amount of people that use BetterHelp, it's staggering, and it's a super important thing to be able to talk to someone and figure things out and clear your mind, and it's an incredible program that they have real good people that work there that want to help, and it's been eye-opening to just see how many people at Barstool have taken advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got, your body, try to take good care of your body, be in good physical shape, physical health. You take good care of a car. If you buy a nice car, why wouldn't you take good care of your mind? That's pretty much the background. That's the thought process. That's where your thought process should be, and BetterHelp is there to do it. They're customized online therapy that offers video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you do not want to. Much more affordable than in-person therapy. You could be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. So give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We talk about BetterHelp a lot on the show. This month we're discussing some of the stigmas around mental health. This podcast, again, sponsored by BetterHelp. Our listeners will get 10% off first month at betterhelp.com/4. That is BETTERHELP.com/4. BetterHelp. Great service. Great thing that they're doing. They're helping a lot of people. So big shout out to BetterHelp. The Tiger Woods clip. I'll never get over the fact that Tiger Woods on the loudest hole in golf in 1997, just a few months before he won the Masters by 12 shots, just aced the 16th hole. I mean, when you go up there, there's a little plaque on the 16th hole, and it's got the people that have aced it, like in the waste management, and it's just not that many people. And of course, one of them is Tiger fucking Woods.
He's just a man made for every moment. That's all he is. Every moment that he addresses and comes up to, he's going to do the right thing. And that was just like starts of it, where it's just like, how is a guy going to ace this 16th hole? Place went bananas. Play people going crazy. Yeah, he's just.
Imagine if you were there. I mean, I would have lost my mind if I was there at Tiger Woods.
Imagine they had the setup they have now.
Oh
my God.
The stands would burn down. It would just burn. They'd crumble.
It's it's an unbelievable clip every time I see it.
Dude, the clip yesterday too that the tour put out of him talking about it, and I don't think he was looking at a monitor. I think he was just remembering it. Like, he remembered every high five. He remembered all the rays in the roof, and him like talking through it was really, really funny. The raise the roof is hilarious. It's very sort of it like pegs it in time when that ace was. You're like, oh, okay, the late 90s out there raising the roof. But yeah, I mean, that guy, for him to fucking pull that off on that hole, people are throwing beers at him all behind him. I mean, it goes nuts when I think it was Francesco Molinari a handful of years ago got an ace there. People were going nuts. Imagine if Tiger Woods got a fucking ace there again or anytime now with the media and all that. I had a guy tweet at me being like, man, I was there and I'm pissed that it was pre-cell phone age because I have no pictures or no videos to prove it whatsoever. But I was there and it was awesome.
Like, brought out a Nokia flip and tried to take a picture.
Yeah. Not to sound like an old man, but that's when you really experience it. When you got no phone, you don't video it. You're just in the moment. I think overall that's a better way to experience that moment.
So somebody hit me with a from the gallery. It was actually Michael. And Michael said, "What are you laughing at, Lurch?"
Just T. I think T was looking for a little follow-up there, and then there was nothing, and there was a topic change, and he was just looking around the room.
I thought maybe the other old people on the Zoom were going to agree with me. And you guys were like,
I couldn't tell if you were being. I want to brag on Instagram. How sarcastic you were being, or how real you were being. I couldn't tell.
You know what? I honestly don't even know. What?
I think that was a real T comment, and I agree.
You know? It's like when the things go viral on Twitter, they show pictures of like concerts now and concerts in the 70s, and it's like, look at that, not a person on their phone, people just living in the moment.
You agree, but like you don't, because like when we're at Torrey Pines, every one of us pulling our phone out every 5 seconds and taking videos and pictures.
Riggs, when you and I went to Waste Management, however many years ago that was, I remember I had to get a portable phone charger from someone in the crowd because I was taking video of every single tee shot in case there was a hole-in-one. So yeah, I'm the opposite. I was like, imagine if we're sitting here, we're like guerrilla media right now. We don't have credentials. We just came in. We're with the people. Imagine a hole-in-one happens and the place goes crazy and Fore Barstool Sports doesn't have video of it. So I was just sitting there the whole time just with it videoing it never happened, but if it had happened, I would have had it.
It is funny, too, the concept of everybody taking those videos and pictures, because there are just better cameras and better other people taking footage. Like, I think about that all the time, but it's like, oh, let me make sure I get like this shot right here at this event. This picture's like, well, if you just go on the internet, someone has a way better camera and just took a better picture of that exact scene at the time.
You never do anything with the photos.
Never.
Nothing.
No, they just really go to the land and like they just die.
And
once in a while, you like scroll when you have no service on your phone. You kind of just go back and like, where was I? Or maybe you look at something on a calendar and you're like, oh, where was I that January? Let me go back. I do that a lot with my expense reports.
Yeah.
I'll be like, where were we on January 21st? And I'll like see pictures that I took in Arizona. Oh, fuck. All right. I got to look back there and see exactly what I did.
You know what I'll actually do sometimes on my phone? If you go to like your main screen on your phone and you swipe left or right, you swipe right, it'll just have like pictures of places you've been. That was like when we look at that. That's when we're out at Pebble, and that's when we're like, it's kind of a nice little thing that you have on your phone. It creates a little life montage for you.
I agree. I think the best thing is do you guys have Google Photos on your phone too?
I don't know.
That does like a heat map of all the places you've ever taken photos. So if you were like, oh yeah, I remember, we did that trip to Australia. I can then go on to Google Photos and just look at Tasmania and it will heat map exactly where we took photos at Barnbougle, and you can just look into exactly those, which is amazing because I think like all these photos go to the land of misfit toys and nobody can ever find them again. They
Yeah.
just die on your phone. So I think the search aspect of photos is like the worst part in the world, because anytime you're at a party or with buddies and you're like, oh yeah, we had this sick photo, it's like it's gonna take me 3.5 hours to potentially find this. So just trust me that it
I
happened.
find the search feature to be pretty good. I find it to
not
be
that
pretty
Apple
good.
needs a little like plug here, but I think they've perfected. I mean, I've typed in before like things that like golf tournament in Denver, and it'll like take you to the Barstool Classic. It just knows like the type of event, or you know what I mean? It's fucking nuts.
Whoa.
If you go to that search, it'll do it completely. You can search anything. I'll type in Islander game, and it takes me to the Coliseum. It knows immediately.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. You don't like it, Lurch?
I don't. Maybe I'm just I'm getting backed into a corner. I mean, really some positive feedback on the old search bar. I just typed in
Well-
Ranger game, and yeah, fuck. Rangers.
Yeah, there you
All right, so
Isn't that pretty
Okay.
insane?
Like,
Oh, hell yeah.
that's pretty legit. That I didn't
That's
see that
great.
coming, because I've
Take your
totally
heat maps
gone
and
off.
shove it up your fucking hoop.
Better hoop one. Yeah, all right, that's better than I expect. Although I still kind of digging the heat map, but yeah. Anyways, let's get past the photo thing. T,
No,
I
don't
agree.
hate the
It's
heat
better
map.
to.
I don't hate the heat map, but I just think that you
think
were
Apple has a
dogging
map
on the
too.
search feature a little bit.
Apple has a map too somewhere.
I just saw that too. It's like right there in front. Yeah. Okay. T, I agree with you. Let's go back to the original point. It's nice to view something without a cell phone.
There you go.
How many bachelor parties do you think are there this week? I know
Billions.
Captain Cons is there for his bachelor party. So
1 million, maybe? 1
Yeah.
million.
Out of the 1 million
Dude,
people, you got 1 million bachelor parties.
there are just
dropped
so
my-
many bachelor
Sorry,
parties.
Yeah, it's insane. You go, Riggs, though.
You dropped what?
No, you go.
I'm gonna.
I'm
puke.
done. I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. No, it's crazy. I was here for a minute, and then I got a text from two buddies. Cons, and then this other guy, Matt, and like they're here for a bachelor party. I drop my stuff at the elevator or the hotel, come down the elevator. First person I see is this guy that's, I don't know if he's had a few drinks. He might have, but he just looked at me like he was like, Lurch? And it just feels like this place is mobbed with people. And the Riggs mentioned there's going to be 1 million people here, potentially over 4 or 5 days of golf. And I would say 25 to 35% is just bachelor parties.
I would say there's nothing I would really want to join less than someone else's bachelor party.
Like if you're not
Just
part of the
like-
friend group, or
Yeah, because bachelor parties by nature are like sloppy, and then they've got their own crew, and even among that crew, you got people that like kind of are forced to be like, you got like a brother-in-law or something that's like not really friends with, so they've got their own like little dynamics within that crew, and then like you joining it, you're like, oh, I kind of like know this guy that like kind of brought me. How do you know and then you're like, I actually don't even have to be here. I'm just so that like being kind of an add-on to like someone else's bachelor party for a beer. I feel like that's just kind of that's a lot for like a social interaction.
Sometimes too, they go in ebbs and flows where like the energy's real high. You show up and everybody's blacked out,
Yeah.
and like everybody's having fun, and you're just like, "Oh, what's up, man? It's great to see you." And then other times you'll show up and it's like Sunday morning or something like that, and everybody's just hung over with just like a breakfast sandwich, just like on their stomach, just like no plate, just like resting on their stomach with a coffee. And so it is a tough event to time up properly in terms of like when you like jump in the mix and hopefully have a lot of fun, because usually it's peaks and valleys with bachelor parties.
I'm so lame and so washed that like 7 years ago, I just decided that I would only go to weddings and not bachelor parties, even if I get invited to them. And I've been doing that for 7 years, and it is a gift, because bachelor parties are fun, and I did them a lot in my early 20s. But one of those when you just wake up like somewhere and they're surrounded by guys, and you're just like, wow, I'm super hungover. Now I got to get on a plane, and that's going to be horrible. If you just make the decision, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, but it is for me. If you just decide, just pick one. Pick the wedding. And you don't have to go through the bachelor party because
Worst friend ever.
Worst. I'm just thinking of the Trent Ryan.
Horrible friend.
The Trent Ryan social playbook of like rules is maybe one of the most interesting documents ever put together on what is an okayed event and what's out. And yeah, Frankie's right. That's just, hey, I'm getting married. I'm excited about it. Trent, I'm so pumped you're coming. And just, no, I'm actually out. I'll be there for the wedding and I won't make the rehearsal dinner. I'll be there maybe for the welcome cocktail wedding and I'm out of there.
The other day I was driving with my buddy and we're going down the street and we got stopped at a red light and we're in between. There was one of those huge cemeteries that there's one on the left and one on the right. And we're just covered by just plaques and stones of just dead people. And I remember, and I was sitting there being like, and we were complaining about like having to go somewhere and like we were tired. And I was like, you know what, dude? One day we're going to be right here to the, like that's where there is nothing stopping us from being right here. We're going here. We have a one-way ticket, and there's no stopping that train.
No,
so you
it's
know
happening.
What?
It's absolutely
Let's
happening.
fucking go to this place. Even though we're tired, there is going to be no more tired. There's going to be no more tired, no more hungover. It's over. You're dead. Done. See you later. The book closes. You're done. So, like, let's go get a mimosa on a Sunday. You know what I mean? That's why we were like trying to say, should we go back and like just go to sleep? Like, no. Yeah. No, because we're going to be sleeping. Dude, that John from fucking 1982 has been sleeping for a long time.
That's a better closing pitch. I was nervous because right away I was like, oh, man, I think if I was having a bachelor party and I either had the choice of Trent, a no-show, and Frankie showing up being like, everybody's going to die, so who gives a fuck? I don't know which
just bags of drugs, just let's go.
So I don't know which one I want there, but the close of Frankie, I agree. Like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, get as much into this life as we can because at some point we're down there.
Frankie's right, and he's given me that same pitch that he gave his friend in the car, like on trips that we go on. Like, I'll be like, I'm going to go back to the hotel room, and he's like, let's go eat prosciutto until our eyeballs fall out. Yeah. And it always usually ends up being a good idea. But something about bachelor parties, it's too intense, and I'm just like, this was fun for a while, but I also just like, I need my sanity. I'll see you at the wedding with an envelope.
Bachelor parties in themselves are fun. I've only been on a couple, but like the people on them can become a lot. Like there's a certain person on every bachelor party from what I've noticed is like That guy's a lot to handle. He's like out there. He's going to get us arrested. It's like we don't need any of that. And then now booking new ones with the same people. It's like you just got to hope this one guy's just like on a leash and just like let's just fucking make sure.
Well, there's always one guy, right, whose life clearly is miserable, and he uses the bachelor party as like, I need this. I need every minute of this. And I'm going to go full send on every part of it.
Not to stereotype, but usually a guy who's married or has kids.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the getaway,
and in
baby.
the thick of it, like 2 kids, both young, and just... I left, and I don't know if I'm coming back.
That's right. His wife is pissed that he's there, and can't believe that he's there.
Or she hates him so much, she's like, she packed his bags. Like, just fucking go. Just fucking go. But that's gonna be a lot of that at the Waste Management for sure. You're gonna see a lot of drunk dads stumbling around the place, looking at women being weird and shit, and it's gonna be a fucking weird time. But there's gonna be a lot of good golf going on. A ton of good golf.
It's strongest field in 20 years. I think 15 of the top 20 ranked players in the world are there, or here, I guess. So it's a phenomenal field. John Rahm, I think, is the betting favorite. I know a few folks who play over at Silver Reef with John Rahm quite frequently. They're basically like, if you don't bet on him to win this week, you're a crazy person. Apparently shot 61, I think, Monday. So he's best player in the world, playing really well. He's in Arizona. He's an ASU guy. I think he really wants to win this golf tournament. So a lot of signs are pointing towards John Rahm. That's easy to say. He's the betting favorite. Way to go out and Riggs. That's what I'm hearing.
Riggs, you said off the top, you mentioned that Brooks Koepka won this tournament last year, and that is true. But this was Jordan Spieth's tournament last year. That was everyone's main takeaway last year. That 61 on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like so long ago. There's been so much that has happened with Spieth in terms of his golf game, even since then, that like, that is what's cool about this tournament is like, yeah, there's a lot surrounding it, right? Like there's the 16th hole, there's the partying, there's the bachelor parties, there's the defending champ, but then you can have a guy like Jordan Spieth pop up and really like rekindle his career. Like that was the turning point. And then he had obviously a pretty damn good year after that. I think he's up to 13th in the world. Obviously had a good finish at AT&T. Should have won probably, but like that's the type of stuff that can happen, and there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this tournament. So, like, viral golf stuff like that almost always happens at some point during this tournament.
Yeah, you're right. That was when it really was Jordan Spieth is back. He pointed. Remember on 17 he made that putt? He pointed across the guy on the fucking pond, and that had the whole thing going. So, you're right, Trent. That was remembered. Brooks Koepka. I mean, it really didn't feel like it was Brooks Koepka's tournament until he holed out on 17 with that little chip, and then it was like, oh, fuck, he's going to kind of win this whole tournament. I walked by Spieth yesterday. He was signing autographs. I didn't really know what to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to sit, like, try to say hi to that guy when we walk. Like, he was just – I was inside the ropes. He was kind of – there's a little area between the putting green and the actual driving range where a bunch of fans congregate. And Spieth's great with fans, so he was kind of there interacting with fans. I think he was signing autographs. But either way, he was, like, there with everybody, maybe taking selfies. And it was just me and him, like, inside that ropes for probably 50 yards. And he was, like, kind of facing the fans, though. Like, he wasn't, like, facing me. And I kind of walked by and was just like, am I supposed to say something? Am I supposed to say something? Am I supposed to say something?
Hey,
I
really
just
like
walked
that Sunday
straight.
conversation.
That's what I was going to say. Sunday conversation was great. He's like, oh yeah, hey, I'm Riggs. He knows who you – I mean, we talked to him at
He loves y'all stuff.
at
I know.
Bethpage. Yeah, I
I feel
know.
like
I know. I didn't say
drop
anything.
like
I didn't
a-
say anything.
Nice to see you're on flat ground or something like that. You know, just, you know?
So Lurch.
Is that not?
See, that's a you line. Like, you could do that with your big, goofy fucking
Hey,
face and
Steve,
smile.
nice to see
and,
you're
like,
on some flat
fuck.
ground.
Yeah.
See you on flat grind. Know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Good to see your neck's not broken.
I guarantee he smiles at that.
No, I
You
don't
know, just
think
a
you're
couple
wrong.
guys
I just,
having a conversation. Just a couple guys having a conversation. You can't just
That's
be a
right.
human.
Yeah, there you go, Frank.
that's
Oh,
not a
my
Riggs
God.
line. I can't say that. I'm not going to say that. I'd be like, I'd start making fun of myself if I said that. I can't do that. So
Lurch is
I
a
don't know.
leader
I
in the
didn't-
thought space when it comes to opening lines of a conversation. So
I mean, we've got weird relationships with a lot of people, a lot of golfers on this podcast. Spieth might be number one.
yeah,
Just in terms of, I don't know.
Rickie's
I
up there.
actually think Rickie
Rickie's up
Fowler's
there.
probably number
Ricky's
one.
got to be one.
Makes us all feel weird, like our skin's gonna fall off every time
Yeah.
we see him.
Yeah, Ricky's got to be. I would say he's a runaway number one.
Yeah,
I thought we were onto something when we were DMing back and forth, or just back and then forth.
I think-
yeah.
I can't believe he DM back tailgating. I just can't. I still will never be able to
you gotta
believe
take
that.
advantage of it. You gotta message him again, be like, "What the fuck,
Bro, I did message him again after
double,
that.
triple message him. Who gives a
Let
fuck?
me see if he
Yeah, I
ever
would
looked at
blow
it.
him up at this point.
He's at the Waste Management.
Yeah, he's out here. While Trent's looking that up, let's do a quick sport clips. All right. I don't take my broken phone screen to a mechanic. That'd be dumb. For the same reason, I don't trust my hair in the hands of my grandma's stylist. Now, look, I don't have any hair, but I know guys on this show have hair. Frankie has sneaky good hair, and I believe
Yeah,
Frankie
try
uses
it.
sport
I got-
clips.
I got some hair up there.
I'm a sports clip guy.
Me too. All different types.
All different types.
I mean, look, they're great. They're pros. That's what they do. They specialize on men's hair. All right. I want someone who specializes in me, and the experts at Sport Clips are trained specifically for guys' hair. In fact, when I did have hair, I was extremely careful about who I went to. I went to Sport Clips because I had a fragile situation going on. I needed them to be as expert and professional as fucking possible to try to look and somewhat presentable. So I can very much relate to this in my former life, pre-COVID, when I just shaved all that shit off. And now I bick it every 2 or 3 days. It's a lot different. Long, curly, short, thinning, thick, chubby face. They put that in the copy. Chubby face, skinny.
What are we talking about?
Oh yeah, you.
It's,
Bro,
dude, it says
you
it
guys
right
see
here.
that
It says,
Tom Brady. You guys see that Tom Brady photo yesterday? I got tagged in that thing
Oh,
unbelievable.
can't imagine how many.
probably over 1,500 times.
What
Probably
Tom
over
Brady photo?
Bro, I retweeted it. I said, please stop sending me this, dude. You're going to die, man.
I mean, it was just like
It's like Tom
a
Brady ate a cheeseburger once, and they
yeah,
just fucking...
it's like clipped up, but he's just like fat, and he just looks like if he had never played in the NFL, that's the way he would have looked.
That's you, dude. That's fucking you, dude.
I was dying last night re-looking at that.
That's such a good pick.
Holy
It is.
fuck.
This is what the copy says. Long, curly, short, thinning, thick, chubby face, skinny, whatever your look. They know how to cut and shape your hair to fit you best. Afterwards, you may even get a pinch on the cheek from Grandma. Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair. That's nice. You get a little pinch on the cheek from Grandma, you know. So that's how you look
I don't
great.
know if I've ever
That's
got
your
that
haircut.
pinch on the old cheek from Grandma.
Well, maybe you haven't gone to Sport Clips enough.
I've been there plenty. I got an account. I got the app. Set up
Do you
times
really?
to go
That's
there.
great.
Yeah.
Update
jealous you
on
can't get a
the Rickie
haircut?
Fowler message. He has not read the message. Although I did have a run-in with him that I didn't tell you guys about at the TaylorMade shoot. It was very brief, but we were finishing up everything. Like we were leaving, we were about to head to the airport, and I was wearing golf clothes, and we didn't have time to go back to the hotel so we could change and shower and all that. So I had to go into the little, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but like right behind where they were hitting drivers and all that, where they had set up all the camera equipment, they were like a ton of servers and like all this technical shit in there. There was a bathroom, and I took my soft clothes that I was going to wear on the airplane. I took those into the bathroom, and I changed into those really quickly, like really sloppily. And I had like all of my golf clothes like smashed together in my arms, and my shoes were on top. And I walked out of that bathroom, and who was waiting to get in there? Rickie Fowler. And
Wow.
It was super awkward. I just said, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" He said, "Hey, what's up?" And then went into the bathroom, and I ran out of there holding my clothes.
He has no idea.
Another
what
opportune
happened there.
time to drop Tilgate. What's up, Tilgate?
I'm with Frankie that I think he might have saw me and been like, "I don't know who this person is," which I totally understand.
I think, I don't know.
I disagree.
I couldn't
I think it's
decide.
more likely that he would know who you were. I think it's more likely he would have, maybe not in the exact moment, but I bet within 5-10 seconds he processed who you were.
Yeah, it was definitely on me to make it awkward because I was like, "Oh, that's Rickie Fowler," and he was like, "Who's this guy holding his clothes?" Oh.
Lurch, before you go, I want to hear about the chili before the fucking paddle tennis game.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you want to hear or no? Just how I viewed it and then took it down?
A general synopsis.
Okay. So Bauer Cup tournament, one of the best days of the year, paddle tournament for actually one of my good buddies' dad who passed in 9/11. So 20-year anniversary, just an epic day of everybody that met him. You kind of like had to know him or the family to be part of the day. Have some success, win the first round, win the second round in a real tight match against the Thompson brothers. Make it to the afternoon, which is big.
The Thompson brothers, pretty fierce team.
They're just they're good. They're great dudes that have a lot of swings. They're talented rackets guys.
Good pedigree at the Power Cup.
That's correct. And so beat them. Partner looks at me and goes, "Welcome to the fucking afternoon." And I was like, "Let's go." Because now everybody comes over. There's kegs of beer. You get people kind of watching and whispering behind the cage of like, who's playing well, who's not playing well. And you can kind of hear those people while you're playing. So it's a great scene to be part of. Step out, go to where they're having lunch. And I will say they upgraded the lunch. I mean, beautiful sandwiches, all different kinds. And I was like, should I be healthy? Should I not? And then for whatever reason, the chili caught my eye, but really what caught my eye were the onions. And I took a bowl of chili down and just covered the thing in just a couple spoonfuls of onions, mixed that together. Not a dairy guy, so stayed away from the cheese. So really kind of double dipped on the thanks, Steve. It was a smart play. Yeah, thank you. Yep. Double dipped on the onions. And my brother snapped a photo, and he was like, "What are you doing eating chili like this? Just a horrible pregame meal." And sometimes I don't think about everything down the road, and all I really could think about is that chili looks good, and I'm gonna at least have a bowl or two.
How'd it hold up?
Short term okay, long term not great.
Okay.
We ended up losing in the semifinals, so it kind of played out okay for me because I think if we made it to the finals, would have been more of an issue. But I was able to do more sneaks post chili.
Is there a chance that you lost because you ate a bunch of chili?
No, the guys were playing are studs. We lost 6-4 in the third set. So I guess you could maybe say that there's a chance because it was a tight match that maybe had some effect.
But, I mean, as a guy who has made questionable meal decisions before, things you shouldn't be eating, that type of stuff, the heart wants what the heart wants.
Heart wants, and it's going to have what it wants. Because when you see it and you lock eyes on it, that thing's not going anywhere except my belly.
I ate that clam chowder when we were down.
All right, boys, I do have to go. I apologize.
No all right,
problem. It's okay. Let's go get it,
big man.
We were going to Disney, and we were all talking about, like, oh, are we going to ride these, like, 3D rides? People are going to get motion sickness. And as we were talking about that, I was gnawing on New England clam chowder, hot New England clam chowder down in Florida. And I started to get a little queasy. I'm like, I don't know if there's any meal to eat prior to riding roller coasters that's worse than clam chowder. It's, like, built to be thrown up. You see clam chowder on the floor, the chunks and the consistency and the color. It was made to puke. Even though it's delicious, it was just made to come back up.
In the moment, you don't really think about it. You're hungry.
No.
Same thing with bangers and mash. I saw that on the menu. I wanted to try it. I wasn't thinking about the 6-hour red eye that we had coming up. And I was like, I'm going to get that. And then you get it and you realize the grave mistake that you have made.
Aside from Augusta National, just to change the topic real quick, aside from Augusta National, would you think the Waste Management's the number one tournament to attend?
Yes. It's, we've been to a lot now in the last 4 or 5 years, just total events, from majors to regular tour events. I would say the Waste Management, if I were going as a fan, the Waste Management would be my number 2 recommendation behind the Masters. I think the Masters is not even close. I think it's the best sporting event. I think putting your phone away is so cool. Unfortunately, we can't go do it because of our fucking jobs. But putting your phone away is so cool. Walking around out there, everyone's paying attention. The fact that they move you in and out as fast as they do at all the concessions, seeing the actual golf course, like the golf course is like going to the Louvre. Like you're seeing shit that you can't believe you're seeing in person in real life. And then Roy McIlroy and Tiger Woods walk by. So obviously the Masters is number 1, but man, the Waste Management, they just do, you walk through fun stuff the entire time. There's like amazing taco stands and like concerts popping up. And then you got like, I saw Charlie Hoffman was like doing a little challenge with like media and a bunch of fans around him. And then it almost felt like one of those drone videos that guy does where they're like, it's like the whole thing has been choreographed which it has been, except it's just happening throughout the entire week. And then you can also walk right over to the putting green and you could watch, 50 players that are your stars, your idols if you're a big golf fan, like putting right in front of you, going through their process. And then you go over to 16 and it's a fucking NHL rink. Like there's more people in 16 than an NHL rink. And it's packed, and it's music, and it's rocking. And then you can walk onto the front 9, and there's not that many people on the front 9. There's not that many tents. You could pick a group and watch them up close and in person. And then, like, the 17th and 18th holes get underrated because they've got massive stands and tents and concerts going all over the place. And then there's just people everywhere that are all having a great time, and it's great weather. So there's like beautiful people around. Everybody's in a great mood. The whole fucking thing is awesome. It's awesome. Trent and I said after we went the first time 4 years ago, whenever we went in on Saturday. We got there at like 5:30 in the morning. I think the gates open at 7. We were in our seats by like 7:05, 7:10. And we didn't see a golf shot until 11 a.m., Trent?
Yeah.
And it was the most fun I've ever had at a sporting event that day in my life.
Right, you just sit there, you sing, you cheer, they throw burritos at you, and it's just, they play music. The whole thing is, it's unlike any event that you've ever been to.
Dude, Frankie, the guy's doing the roller, he rolls, they come out and roll the greens in the morning, and the guy rolls, and he rolls from one side to the other. The whole crowd goes, whoa, as he gets to the side.
That's insane.
It's great.
You got 40,000 people doing, whoa, as he gets to the end. It's so much fun.
I agree that those are the top 2. I would be curious to know, like the Open at St. Andrews, for very different reasons. Just like going there and seeing that, being in that little town, being around it when it's there, like what it's like. I think that could rank up there too. I don't know. I've never been. But I think as of now, I think Augusta and then Waste Management, those got to be the top 2.
It's amazing that they've built this up like this to be a must-go-to, must-see event. You know, the Phoenix Open. Like, what are we even talking about?
And I don't think you can repeat it. Like, it's not something, like, if you tried, it's something it's good in small doses. Like, you couldn't, I'm sure there's people out there who wish golf was like this every week, every tournament. I'm sure the golfers don't wish that, but I'm sure there's people out there who are like, why can't we just make this every week? There's something about Scottsdale. There's something about Arizona. There's something about the timing of it. Like, and the fact that they've just decided to own it. 16th is obviously a big part of it. You just can't recreate it, and that makes it that much more special.
Yeah, it is. It is so unique for that reason. I guess now that I've been closer to it, you sort of learn a little bit why. Like the Thunderbirds, which is this organization of influential people in Scottsdale who have come together and put this on and raised tens of millions of dollars for charity. Like, they run this tournament, and you've got really smart, really committed, really influential people in this area that have been working on this tournament for whatever it's been, 50 years, that take it very, very seriously. And having an organization like that actually runs the show, I think is a huge part of why it is what it is. I mean, we go to, I would even say a lot of the U.S. Opens, that we've been to, even like as a spectator overall, they suck. Like the courses, they host the U.S. Open every 5, 10, 15 years. So they don't have the space, right? Like TPC Scottsdale Stadium course is built to host people. It's a stadium course. It's like TPC Sawgrass. It's a stadium course. It is designed from even like the topography of it so that people can watch. When we go to a lot of these venues, actually watching the golf, if you're a fan that doesn't have inside the ropes passes like we get a lot, it's fucking impossible. You can't see anything. You can't move around. You got to wait forever in line to get a beer. Whereas I think the Waste Management, even though they have 1 million people that are going to come through, it's overall a phenomenal fan experience from start to finish. They got the parking down, the shuttling down, the movement of people. It's literally the Waste Management. So like they handle a lot of like, you would think it would just be chaos, and you find like giant piles of fucking empty beer cans and stuff. But overall, they clean shit up pretty quickly. It has a little bit of a Disney feel to it where you're like, how do this many people come here? This many people are shit-faced, walking around, partying from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m., and overall, the place looks pretty good and moves people around pretty quickly. It's pretty shocking.
I've got a couple things to say about this tournament.
Okay.
Why'd you just fix your hat like that? Is this a big shot? Is this a big moment for you?
Jake, hit the music.
Wow.
Okay, good.
It's poem time. One of the best weeks of the year is finally here. It's the Waste Management Open. Crack open a beer. There are shots on the course while the crowd's shots amass, and that's why it's called the greatest show on grass. Over 1 million spectators will go through the entrance gates, each and every one craving the magic 16 creates. They call it the Coliseum. From dawn to dusk, it's one celebration. No one wasting a sip while managing their hydration. The history of the tournament goes back to 1932. It's the only place where when you miss the green, people are going to boo. The field this year is loaded, with Brooks looking to defend. He's a 2-time champion at TPC. A third would be quite the trend. Jon Rahm is the favorite, Justin Thomas right behind him. Kevin Chappell is 65,000 to 1. Those odds are very slim. The weather this year should be perfect in the Arizona sun. The perfect setting for golf. Beer drinking and fun. To all those attending, be safe and enjoy. You'll have a much better time than at that one in Silvis, Illinois.
Oh, come on. Did you
Wow.
write that?
Wow.
You wrote that?
Really good.
Yeah.
Fuck you for the end, although it was
Best
pretty
one
good.
yet. Best one yet. Oh,
Yes,
the dagger
sir.
at the end. Just a total ricochet shot at Trent.
Thank you very much.
I feel
Thank
like
you very
you
much.
wrote that by
Can we get
starting.
snaps?
Oh yeah, I feel like you wrote that with
Give
that
you a full
starting
clap.
point, and you built it around Silvis, Illinois.
No,
what I
I was sitting in bed last night saying I gotta write a fucking poem, and I was up until like 2:30 in the morning doing it. And the line that made me do it was I was thinking about no one wasting a sip while managing their hydration, because I wanted to get the waste management in there. And that's why I was
got
like,
me.
let's build off that. Let's just build off that one. So we went before, we went after. The dagger came in at the end. I needed to rhyme with what did I end up rhyming it with? I don't remember.
It was very well done, Frankie.
Enjoy.
That's just
enjoy.
That's a great one.
Enjoy. Wow, really good.
I will say, you mentioned Kevin Chappell. I have to say this, but yesterday when I saw him, the first thing he said was, "When's Frankie gonna go on a diet?"
Awesome. Well, that's why he's literally last in the Barstool Sportsbook odds. I mean, all right, when's he gonna fucking win a golf tournament?
Nice. I figured you'd
He'd
shoot one at him.
back me into the corner. Come on, Chappie. I love you. I love the guy, but fuck, man. I'm already taking heat. People are tagging me in this Tom Brady photo. They're basically saying Tom Brady is the most obese person on the planet when you put a fat filter on him, and everyone's saying it looks exactly like me.
Okay.
No,
that's true.
He just saw
And
the
it does
photo. He just saw the photo. That's all he was going off of.
It does look exactly like you, but the flip side of that is if you lose enough weight, maybe you'll look more like Tom Brady.
I saw that. If I stop eating McDonald's, I just look like Tom Brady.
There you go.
Is the interview we did going in this show, or is it going in another one?
I think it's going in this show. Scott Eastwood.
Yeah, we had Scott Eastwood on, and we actually talk about that photo. So that's a little plug for later on. Full disclosure, Trent and I had to do that interview with our phones and no internet, and Scott Eastwood was on his phone. Kind of like choppy, unless Jake Bass, our incredible producer, was able to kind of smooth it out a little bit. But we talk about what's like the number one thing to get rid of my face fat, and I think you're going to like the answer, Riggs, because I think it's what you're doing.
Ooh, nice little teaser there. I'm excited. I haven't listened yet. Yeah, I felt bad, but I was we were talking earlier, I was inside the ropes with that crew, and I was like, I'm just not going to leave. I'm just not going to leave this scene right now.
No, you can't.
No, it was too good.
And it's no secret to the listeners that Frankie and I are not professional interviewers. Like,
we
let's
just want
not
to talk about how hot he is, and listen,
Right.
it's just we're already an hour into the show. It's a throw in, like if you want to listen to Scott Eastwood talk a little G with the boys, and you want to listen to Scott Eastwood talk a little G with the boys, but it's not gonna change your life. That interview, you're not gonna walk away from that thing saying, "Wow, my life has been changed for the better or the worse." It's just something that happened.
Part of the excitement, I think, of the interview is that you guys had to run the interview. Like, I was texting Jake right after it started. I almost wanted to get a line into the interview just to pay attention to the interview, how it was going, not to have any influence over it. I just wanted to witness it.
We're never going to change. That's the thing I promise to these listeners and viewers. We're never going to change. We're always going to be the Trent and I, at least. I mean, Riggs has been very professional throughout his whole career, being able to interview. There's a couple times that I've been able to step up to the plate and like figure it out. Trent the same way. Morikawa, but listen,
really good.
I'm never going to change. I'm always going to get nervous around famous people. I'm always going to be it's just like if we pulled John fucking whatever, Schmo, out of his cube right now listening to this show and been like, go interview Scott Eastwood. Like, I don't want to do the crazy prep. I just want to talk to people. That's not what we are. We're not an interview-based we're not CNN. We're not Fox News. We're just guys trying to talk as if we would talk to Scott Eastwood at the bar. Hey, like, why are you so hot? How do I get a chiseled face? That's all I want to ask him.
I have a question, and it's something that I've thought about since I started podcasting and since that like became a thing in our lives. Do you think that you are born with the ability to interview someone? And the reason I say that is because Riggs, honestly, I think that he was. A guy like Kevin Clancy, I think he was. A guy like Sean Evans from Hot Ones, I think he was. Like, it's just a certain skill set that people have that I don't think that I have in my brain. Like, when I'm like, I like when we're doing interviews, I'm just there to like bring like talk every once in a while and like try to bring a question or two, but like I can't guide the conversation. I can't do any of that. I'm being very honest. Like I just think that there's people out there, for whatever reason, their brains have the ability to do it.
I think Davis said that too about himself. I mean, he says he's not a big interview guy. He likes to just talk. I mean, and I think he's a little hard on himself because when he does do interviews, it's great. He's done them on his podcast before, but I think that's definitely true, Trent. I mean, we weren't like groomed to do it. I mean, I was working at a fucking pizzeria. I could barely speak. Everyone knows that. I could barely.
But Riggs is really good at it.
I know, but Riggs also is just like a good talker in those. He's born with it. Like
But I would say I appreciate it. Thank you, boys. You're being very nice right now. And we don't get that all the time on the show.
No.
And about the Kevin Chappell thing, I didn't want to just throw a random shot at Frankie because he laughed after and was like, "Dude, I just saw that photo and I thought if I see those boys this week, I gotta bring it up."
That's okay.
But what I would say is, like, I do listen a lot. When I listen to other shows, if I listen to Rogan or somebody that I think is really good, I try to pay attention from a self-improvement standpoint and try to pick up things that I think that they do well. Even like when that interview went out, when Oprah fucking interviewed
Adele,
Meghan Markle, and and Prince, what is it, William?
Harry.
And everybody was going crazy about how good of an interviewer was. I remember I went through and watched that like 2 or 3 times. So I was like, all right, in that standpoint, I want to try to pick some shit up. So I think you can probably try to get better at it, but I don't know, because Trent, I remember our first guy, Ollie Schneider-Jans, like that was probably the first interview we've ever done. And it's just, you kind of just are like, I think this is how it's going to go. And then you just
right, and it wasn't a disaster. If there were 2 me's in that room, it would have been a disaster. Because what I've noticed is the ability to be thinking about the next thing while the person is talking about the last thing that you asked them. That is the gift, and I do not possess that. I'm always focusing on every single word, and then when their answer ends, I'm like, all right, now what do we do?
I will say that's the biggest challenge for me, is because I always try to have the next question ready, but also you don't want to sacrifice or skip out on what they're saying, because if they say something really interesting, you want to try to like follow up, or you want to obviously digest what they're saying so that you could bring it up later or reference it or whatever. And I will say that especially early on, that was a big weakness of mine, that I'd be so fucking nervous about making sure when they stop talking that it's not just dead silent, that sometimes I wouldn't listen to what they're saying.
It's interesting. It's an interesting thing. These are the things that I think about, because that Scott Eastwood interview is a different interview than we normally do.
Yeah, it's just a couple guys getting thrown into the wolves and trying to survive. Listen, full disclosure, we're just trying to survive that one. And he was a great guy, and it ended up being fine. It ended up being good. But yeah, just know that was going through our heads the whole time. You know, I'm never going to act like I'm supposed to be in the position to be able to interview Clint Eastwood's son about golf and movies. I'm not ever going to be in that position. So when it happens, listen, just know that it's just a bunch of regular guys trying to just fight through it. And then it is
absolutely
what it is.
battling every time.
So we got that interviews coming up at the end of the show. And then we've got a couple production notes. We have the Kingdom video tonight when you're listening to this. I think we're going to do it 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Is that what we're settled on?
Yeah, the guys from the Yak and Dave, they're all out in LA, so they're going live from 7 o'clock Eastern till 10, I believe, which is their time slot out there to go live in LA. So we figured it's a 24-minute video at the Kingdom, so 6:30. We're going to be in the chat. Listen, I know how hard it is to get YouTube subscribers. So when I did that call out last show, I was like, I knew we weren't going to get to 190. It's amazing, like, how slowly it creeps up. But yesterday was one of our biggest subscriber hikes, like spike ups that we've had in a long time. It was only like 900, which is actually a lot, because people actually have to go and convert on what you're saying. They have to make an account. They have to go and hit subscribe. So thank you to everyone that's done it. We need to get to 190 before we do our hole-in-one challenge. But yes, tonight we'll be in the chat, 6:30. It's an amazing video. I've already plugged it last week. If you haven't heard, it's going to be a very numbers-based, fun watch to be able to see what the difference between the flex points and the shafts are, the different shafts for putters and where the balance is supposed to be, how much of a difference that makes. Listen, if you're in the market to buy new clubs or get fitted or buy new shafts or anything, watch this video first. Send it to your buddies, have conversations, say, oh, you have this, Brian. How come you don't have this type of putter? Look at what Frankie did. He misses his putts left. You should have this putter. It's a great conversation piece. Watch it tonight. We'll be in the chat. Excited for it.
And then next week, we got Tommy Fleetwood, and we're going to start rolling out all the videos with the players. Tommy Fleetwood, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, Matt Wolff, many people I'm sure I'm forgetting. But anyways, we're going to start rolling those out. I think we have 18 straight weeks of videos with TaylorMade athletes. Is that right?
Every Tuesday
Something
for the
like
next
that, yeah.
18 weeks, there'll be a video with us playing with a superstar PGA Tour TaylorMade athlete. Superstar.
We got Sierra Brooks, who we've never done anything with. So get involved on the YouTube so you don't miss it. Please go subscribe. It's very big for us. G4. I got the OG, or they call these the flagship, all right, the Gallivanters. These ones got a little pink ribbon on them, which are obviously awesome.
So strong.
That's nice.
But this is the G4 Gallivanter is, as they call it, which is a great term. I need to use this more often. Their flagship shoe. They got a new lineup for spring of your favorite course shoes, the Gallivanters. Check out the flagship shoe for yourself at g4.com/4. You can get your first order 10% off. That's g4.com/Fore. The Gallivantages will keep you planted throughout your swing. That's true. They'll keep you dry on the course. That's true. They're made from premium Pebble, full-grain leather, and cleat design for optimal on-course traction. Look, this is just the best overall shoe in the world. We were talking about Kevin Chappell. He told me a great story the other day. He's a G4 guy now. And I said, man, I didn't know you were a G4 guy. When did that happen? And he said, well, a few months ago, I went into a pro, showed up to a course, forgot my shoes, went into the pro shop, bought a pair of G4s, had never worn them before. He said, on the course, I said, holy shit, these are the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn in my life. He contacted, I believe, Todd Martin, who he knows, and was like, what's going on with these G4 shoes? Me too.
Don't get Frankie started.
And I wanna wear these shoes. What's going on? They're so comfortable and so perfect that he legitimately reached out to G4. Now he rocks their clothes, he rocks their shoes, and he's sold. Everybody that's bought a pair is sold. The MG4s are what he was wearing yesterday. They're incredibly comfortable. And again, the Gallivanter is their flagship shoe, the best overall shoe in the world of golf. It's classy, it's comfortable, it's stable, it looks good with everything. So g4.com/Fore, get 10% off. One of the best companies we've ever worked with. They're fantastic.
They've perfected just the clean look. That's the biggest thing. You go on all these websites to find golf shoes, and they're crazy, they're hectic, they're wild. You want to try and impress someone, you go into a nice country club, or you're trying to get your fit off, and you have nice tight pants, and you have the nice, pressed shirt. You need the right shoe for that. It's a Gallivanter. I mean, you won't find. And then look at these things.
They got them all. They got all types. I love those. I wear those all the time. Those camo
bottoms.
Snows, the snow camo ones.
I wear those all the time. They're legitimately so comfortable. Like, it's Chappell's right. You won't believe it when you put them on.
They're fantastic. So go g4.com/Fore. We get you 10% off. You're welcome. A couple quick things to discuss before, again, we throw it to Scott Eastwood. Next week is the Genesis at Riviera. Max Homa will be the defending champion. Tiger Woods will be the host of the event. I believe by Friday at like 5 p.m. is when they have to decide if they're playing or not. You think there's any chance Tiger Woods plays next week?
No. I do think there's a 100% chance that he does the range situation.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he hits at the range.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good call.
I think he hits at the range for sure. It's his
We're
event.
totally ruling out that he plays.
Yeah.
I'm not
either.
Wow.
Why his tournament? Why not?
He just hasn't. I don't know. We haven't heard a fucking peep out of him. I just think he shows up. He's like on a good track. He just did the PNC. He's on a good track of like people being okay with everything that happened. We've already forgotten everything. We're on the recovery back. I think he just joins the booth. He talks about the event. He's just a nice, happy-go-lucky guy that everyone's like, there's Tiger Woods. He talks about his progress. It's just a part of the Tiger Woods playbook. I can't see him going against the playbook and just showing up and playing. I don't know. I just can't see that happening.
You know what?
I think it's you're most likely correct, but I'm going to give it 5%.
That sounds about right. So he probably will. Well, I guess I don't know. You think he'll do one of those sit-down TV interviews like he did last year?
Yeah.
I think he probably will too. And the thing is, they will not bring up the crash, which is crazy. Because that's the week that it happened. It happened like a day after that interview that he did last year. They just won't bring it up at all, which I'm fine with. I get it. But they will not bring it up. They'll be like, hey, what do you think about the golf course?
You guys shit on Bryson for like him not admitting that his swing is the reason why his back hurt.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, yesterday you're like, well, like it's obvious his back hurt because of his swings, and he's saying he fell. He's never tells the truth. It's like, we're not going to talk about why Tiger Woods crashed last year at the biggest fucking event, biggest event in sports in 2021. We're not going to talk about when in the year anniversary at his tournament.
Those two things are not the same.
I know they're not. I'm just trying to make a point.
But it'll be an interesting, like, just a visual. Like if he does the interview, and they'll be talking to him, and it'll be interesting.
Interview has to bring it up.
We've been able to kind of avoid it until now, but now there's too many connections. Everyone's like, all right, we're here. This is where it happened.
Dude, on the side of the car that he flipped over in, it said Genesis on it. Like, this is it. Like, this is the week. And everyone said, and we talked about it last year, and then we had to do an emergency pod right after because then the crash happened. We said his interview last year during the tournament was weird. If you go back and watch it, it's weird. That's all.
Yeah, his eyes were strange. He was like almost looked like he was floating. And it was a weird thing. You go back and listen to our interview about it. I mean, our podcast about it. We were saying like, man, Tiger looked fucking strange. Like in real time, we said it.
Yeah,
Man,
interesting week coming up.
I'm excited.
I hope he
for
just
him, though.
plays. I hope he just plays. But he at the Hero World Challenge, he was on the TV coverage and he was great. Remember him being on there and how different he was? He was vibrant.
Fantastic.
He was, yeah.
So I said
We'll see.
It's gonna be hard because right now no one's thinking about it. We're just loving Tiger Woods coming back in our lives. This is obviously gonna be a little bit of a hiccup because you have to think about it because it's been the 1 year anniversary. But I think he's gonna play it cool. I think he's gonna shy away from all the negative stuff. But I think he's gonna do something like the Range where it's gonna go viral that he's like preparing for the Masters or something, and we're all going fucking crazy about that. No one's gonna give a fuck about what happened last year. He might even announce like I'm getting ready for April. You know what I mean? Like something's gonna happen where it just completely diverts all of our attention from the crash to progress. That's the Tiger Woods way to just say like we just continue to move on. We have goals. We're gonna reach them.
He has to do a thing that's like look over here, look over here, look over here. As opposed
He's done his
to
whole life, man.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
I
all these
think-
tournaments I'm winning. You have no idea what's going on behind closed doors.
Whoa. Nothing was
saying.
going on. Everything's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're 1 month away from Bay Hill, where I think that'd be one of his more likely places to stop. But then I was looking, Bay Hill, the week after is the Players' Championship. So I don't know that he would come out, play for the first time, and play back-to-back weeks. So then it
Maybe
makes me think he
rain
won't play.
session to Bay Hill.
Yeah, maybe like Bay Hill, maybe rain session at Bay Hill, and then he plays the next week at the Players. Which, again, that would be a month and a half from now.
I think Frankie's right. I think we see some swings out of him this week, but not
Ooh, baby.
in an official tournament capacity.
He fucking
Not as
played
a
golf on TV over a month ago.
Right.
We got to see him. do
And he
something.
did fantastic.
Finished second place. He almost won the
Yeah.
fucking tournament
Yeah.
with like a 12-year-old on his team. Speaking of Tiger Woods, we got a few from the galleries folks submitted. Michael submitted, he said, okay, hypothetical, you're hosting a Super Bowl party this Sunday. You got everybody comes over, they're all excited for the Super Bowl. Tiger Woods is playing in the Waste Management. It goes into a playoff. Tiger Woods is in the playoff. Keeps going into playoff, extra holes. Gets to the point where Tiger Woods' playoff is cutting into the start of the Super Bowl. You only have one TV at your place. Do you switch the TV over to the Super Bowl, or do you keep it on Tiger Woods?
Keep it on Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
It's the easiest
Didn't we
question
have a
ever.
situation sort of like this? It didn't involve Tiger, but wasn't there a playoff for the Waste Management a couple years ago that really, really went deep?
I think it was Hideki and Rickie.
I think that's right.
But in that Hideki and Rickie.
In that situation, you just keep it on Tiger. That's really because the Super Bowl. I mean, I like the Super Bowl just as much as every other American does. But if you come in late to the Super Bowl, you might miss a couple commercials, but you're not going to miss like everything that's going on. There's so much surrounding the Super Bowl that like you're going to get enough of what you want to get while also watching the finish of the golf tournament.
I agree. I don't know that you can turn off anything. I don't know if you can turn to anything from Tiger Woods trying to win a golf tournament in the world. I don't know, like even if the president was announcing like a nuclear bomb was coming, I think you stay on Tiger Woods because
The only difference is if you're a fan of one of the teams that's playing in the Super Bowl, then you got a real discussion on your hands.
Yeah. Second
But
year in
even
a row,
still-
we have a home Super Bowl. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
forever it
That is
didn't
weird.
happen. I think it never happened. This could be really wrong. I don't think it ever happened before Tampa, and now it's happened 2 years in a row. That
It
could
It may
be
have
wrong.
never happened, or it didn't happen for years, like 30 or 40 years. But yeah, I think that's pretty nuts.
It's also weird how not old the Super Bowl is.
Yeah, what is this? The 50?
It's just not that many. It feels
Yeah, it's
like,
like-
right?
67 or something? Like in
No.
like 1967. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Or so, I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know.
been watching. I've been watching Man in the Arena. I watched like the first couple episodes, and the Super Bowl in like 2001, they're going, and it's like Super Bowl 30 or whatever, and you're like, I mean, they just started it 30. Fucking, I'm 35.
There was a stretch though where it wasn't the Super Bowl, but they called it the NFL Championship. I'm pretty sure, and that has been going on longer. But I agree, the Super Bowl is not as old as you would imagine for a sport as popular as football is.
I mean, the Olympics, it's like the fucking, when they do that, it's like they've been doing the Olympics for like 4,000 years. And then they're, oh yeah, the 30th Super Bowl I'm watching. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's the 30th Super Bowl? And then the other thing I had picked up from Man in the Arena is Adam Vinatieri is responsible for an outrageous amount of success for the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. Like, that guy is the most clutch motherfucker of all time, which led to then somebody's from the gallery, they submitted, what's this guy's name? I think it's Steven. Steven was listening to our show, and we were talking about clutch kickers not that long ago, I think a few weeks ago. And I think his question was, if you had a snapper and a holder, but you had a golf club, so I'm assuming he means they snap it, the holder puts it on a tee, and then you have a golf club, are you making field goals? In my thought process was the easiest thing in the world, because at first I was like, I don't know, man, that's pretty narrow. And then I started thinking, like, a long field goal is 50 yards. Think about how short a 50-yard golf shot is.
Right, that's where my mind went too. It's a short yardage. I mean, we're talking pretty confidently here for a group of guys who suck at the game.
I would have missed one.
But I do think it's certainly easier than kicking a field goal.
Talking to me about they're going to be teed up. If I could take a 7-iron, I would make every field goal possible.
What's the width of a field goal?
I do know that when you run out on a field, it's skinnier, more narrow than you think. But my concern with the 7-iron, Frankie, be if somebody could block it.
So you'd hit a wedge?
You get whatever I would probably hit like a 56-degree wedge.
I'd hit a 7-iron, hit an absolute laser. I'd hit an absolute laser. Just arms back, lock them up, and just fucking punch it, man. Like you're trying to hit the guy in the golf cart at the driving range.
Field goal dimensions, 18 feet, 6 inches wide.
18 feet.
It's not that many feet.
No, it's not.
That's not
like that's now you're talking about like how accurate are you with your golf shots, and the answer is not that accurate. But I don't know if I think I would do pretty well. And if I feel that way, then you guys would probably do pretty well. Riggs would do really well.
We should go do this now.
I think we should. Wedge is one of my strengths, so I think I'd do pretty well. But 18 feet, missing by 9 feet on either direction is not that many feet.
And then if we did this, which I agree, Frankie, I think we could take it all the way back and see how far a field goal we can make. Taking fucking 5-irons.
Kind of love this.
Yeah, dude. I mean, think about it. You could kick a field goal from your own 1-yard line if you had some. I mean, 110-yard wedge shot. It's just a little. I mean, it's a little gap wedge or something, just through the fucking uprights.
And then, could you keep going backwards?
Yeah, but dude, let's go to a fucking high school or something and just go film it like on one of those turf fields and just absolutely lace fucking irons through these things.
Just see who can make the longest field goal.
Just take it to the baseball field and go.
The problem is when you back up, you're going to get past 100 yards and you're going to have to go through another field goal. You're going to have to avoid the other one.
And you're also going to have to figure out how many yards that is. If we could do, we should
rangefinder. Just use the pinned golf rangefinder.
What a great call! Forgot that.
That's why they're made.
I forgot.
That's a great call. See how many do you do challenges where it's like we each hit 10 from a spot and who can get more? Or do you do you make the 10-yard one, you go back to 20, go back to 30, go back to 40, and one guy just keeps going back and seeing how far you can go?
We should find out how kickers do it and practice and stuff. I'm sure they do little games amongst themselves, and I wonder if they do you get 3 from 65 yards, who can make it, and see if you can make it, or something like that to claim that you made it, right? Frankie made a field goal from 140-yard field goal.
I think once you get down to it, like if there's 2 guys left somehow, you got to have like you get rebuttals over and over again until somebody hits it.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to have somebody hit a 270-yard field goal?
Maybe.
I mean, I think it becomes like a real problem after 80 yards.
Yeah. We're not
you
that
start
accurate.
you start taking full swings with stuff, like whether it be a 52, 56, and now all of a sudden you have a pitching wedge in your hand from like 110 to 130. Easily could push and pull those. I mean, you're talking 18 feet. You get to 150, it's over.
This year to date on the PGA Tour, approach shots from 125 to 150 yards. The leader on the PGA Tour is Kevin Na at 12 feet 11 inches.
Dude.
If you are outside of 18 feet, you are outside of the top 13 in the world in approach shots. So Jordan Spieth comes in at 14th, and he averages 18 feet 4 inches away from the hole. So that's from 120. We can go down to, let's say, approach to the green.
Yeah, that's
so I think it's going to be pretty tough. Actually, let's see.
Yeah.
100 to 125, it's pretty similar. It's, once you get to about, it's a little bit better, obviously, but still.
Dude, 100-yard shot hitting it into 18 feet. Like, think about a football field. You got to hit a fucking golf ball through those uprights, right down the middle from 100 yards out. That's not easy now. Now I'm 50 yards. I was pretty damn confident. Even that's going to be a little tough.
The average from 100 to 125 yards of the PGA Tour, the average is 19 feet 5 inches.
Okay.
And really, if you're putting a hole in the middle of the field goal post, like, then your difference is like 9 feet. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not 18. So it's like, it's harder than we think.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It is only
that's
9
the
feet.
conclusion.
It's like
Man, who are we gonna have standing under, like, determining if it goes through or
Jake
not?
Bass. So you get that's a little tease for the TaylorMade videos. I mean, Jake Bass. Ugh. Wait until
Absolutely.
that teaser comes out.
Took one.
Fuck. No, yeah. We need someone behind the camera giving, like, to just see if it went through, and then someone obviously there giving the field goal. You could tell if you're underneath it if it goes through, just like a football.
It is going to be a dangerous spot to stand, though.
Wear hockey equipment.
Okay. I think we do it.
I'm gonna do this today. I'm no, like, you know what I mean. This is fucking awesome. We should all do it. See if we can figure out how to, like, if we can all be together. If we don't get this out by Super Bowl, we're fucking idiots.
I know. I was thinking that too. It kind of has to come out by Super Bowl. We could go do it. Me and Lurch are in the same place. We go do it tomorrow.
And then we'll just splice them up.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I wonder how quickly we're gonna get kicked off the fucking high school premises when we're just ripping golf balls from 150 yards away.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Might be hard to get clearance on that.
Some stoolie will be in the school administration or something. We'll figure it out.
It's a great call. That's a great idea. I don't know how the hell we're gonna get that done, but it's a great idea. All right, well, we have to do that. That's amazing. Yeah, I like that.
Jake Bass is so rattled he's gonna have to edit this already.
So rattled.
These fucking idiots are gonna be hitting golf balls.
I mean, yeah. I guess it obviously has far more appeal if it comes out before the Super Bowl, but, like, guys try to hit field goal with golf balls I think is a pretty good title regardless.
That's a nice YouTube title.
How the hell are we gonna get it out by, like, Super Bowl?
No,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what I mean. I think if we just do it at some point, maybe when we're all together, I think we're probably all going to be together here sometime soon. So maybe try to plan it when we're all doing that.
I think the next time we're gonna be together is at Pebble fucking Beach.
I think that's right.
How cool is that?
We're not hitting field goals at Pebble Beach.
No.
We'll figure it out. That's a good video, though. I think that's a really good idea.
Okay.
You know what else a really good idea is Truebill. Truebill is the new app that allows you to identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't need, want, or simply forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 American dollars a year with Truebill. Truebill's fucking awesome. I don't know if we're allowed to say fucking in this, but they are awesome.
They are fucking awesome. I'm going to say it because they're awesome, but they're also, it's eye-opening. They tell you everything about what you're spending money on. And as a guy who said one of his New Year's resolutions was going to be to learn how to cook and has not done that, and who gets a lot of his meals delivered, it tells you that in point blank money, green terms. And you're just like, I got to figure some shit out. But it's good because it gives you that thought, because I've always known that in the back of my head, like, I'm probably spending a lot of money on takeout food. But then you get the number and you're like, I'm spending a lot of money on takeout food. And just to have that sobering number, and it gives you that with everything, bills, food, Ubers, all this stuff, it breaks it down, and it really can tell you and show you how to manage your money better. Truebill, it really is something that I use pretty much on a daily basis to track my spending.
Dude, Truebill has no idea what it signed up for when it has me on its platform. Like they have no
agreed.
Like for me, I just am moving into a house, so we're talking like trying to furnish a place. So this week I got an alert being like, your spending is $9,000 less than your average. Because when I first fucking did it, it's like we're buying couch, bedroom set, all this shit, table. It's like, yeah, you're putting a lot of stuff on your credit cards. You're going crazy like to fucking first place. And then this week we haven't done anything, and I got alerts being like, what? Like we thought you were fucking, you know, the most rich person on the planet spending that money last week, and now all of a sudden, like, have you gotten kicked out? Like, do you need help? Like, what is happening? I mean, I got alerts on my phone like you wouldn't believe, saying like your spending is down 25,000%. Like I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I turned it into a game, so it'll give you month by month how much you spend on everything, like I was saying before, and I know the number from last month or 2 months ago how much I spent on Uber Eats. The goal then for me is to beat that number, get lower, not higher. Got to get lower. Just order less. Walk to the pizza place on the corner. Don't spend $20 on dinner, and it's really effective, and I really love it.
Dude, the amount that I spend at Chipotle is amazing.
It tells you so many numbers, dude.
It says
Starbucks.
right here. It says right here, Trent. It says that I've spent in the last year. I've spent $1,126 at Chipotle.
Yeah, dude. It breaks it down. It gives you the restaurants. I was looking at my Starbucks number.
Love Chipotle.
Clearly, you
remember
do.
that?
And
I think last year I spent like $3,000 at Taco Bell.
Truebill has it. If you look it up, at Starbucks, I looked last year. I spent like $1,200 because I get it every day, and I saw that number. And ever since then, I've been like making coffee in the morning and just drinking it that way, so I can save a little bit of money. So it shows you how to save money in all those different ways.
Don't fall for subscription scams. A little bit of tongue twister there. Subscription scams. Start canceling today at Truebill.com/Fore. Go right now. Truebill.com/Fore. It could save you thousands a year. That's Truebill.com/Fore. Look at this. On January 11th, January 12th, January 12th again, January 13th, 14th, 16th, and 17th, I went to Chipotle.
Wow.
I double dipped on January 12th. What was going on January 12th? I don't know.
Just hungover or something? Wow.
Oh, definitely.
Super interesting app, actually.
It's a great app. All right. I don't really have anything else. Do you guys have anything else? You got anything going on this weekend? Anybody? Is it snowy up there? You guys got a bunch of snow on the ground?
No, it is not snow. It looks sunny outside right now, but I think that's deceiving. I think it's like low 40s, maybe.
Yeah, it's
high
actually
30s.
really nice out. I've been, homeowner shit, like going there, taking off fucking, we're painting the place, so it's like taking off, I've been doing a lot of screwing, taking screws out, not the right screwing.
Screwing there, Frank?
Taking a lot of the,
Thought maybe
the
you're
outlet,
celebrating the new house.
taking a lot of the outlet, the tops off, all the covers.
Christening the new
God,
house.
man. You don't realize how many freaking outlets are around these rooms and stuff. You gotta go there, all the little mini screws. You gotta take them out because they gotta paint around them. So I'm doing that. I'm moving shit in. It's a fucking nightmare, but it's fun.
There's got to be some part of excitement, though. You got a house.
It's a lot of fun. No, it's fun like being able to set it up. Riggs talked about that with the Riggs Cottage, like being able to like set your shit up and like make it a cool experience and like all the stuff I want. Like I'm putting some turf down in the basement to roll some putts. That's like gonna be like my cool dream like room that like I have all my golf clubs lined up almost like a mini Tiger Woods room, even though it's like a 15 by 13 room. I'm gonna make it into something really fun. So yeah, stuff that I always wanted to do. Buy the TV of my dreams, throw it up on the wall. Like little shit like that. Spend too much money on stuff that I don't have, and it's fucking that's the American way, baby. Let's go. Let's just fill this place up, live in it, because one day we're gonna be in that fucking cemetery. One day we're gonna be there. Can't take the stuff with you.
Cemetery had a big impact on you, huh?
Yeah, we had quite the conversation when we were driving by it. Just like think about all these people, the greats, like Roman emperors and fucking, the greats of the greats, the Joe DiMaggio and fucking Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth. Like they're just fucking gone, man. Like,
dude, it's literally everybody.
Everybody. No matter what you did. No matter what you did.
I'm going to let that one sink in for a second.
No matter what you did, you're going to die. Unless
That's really the goal. The goal is to
Disney.
just not die for like as long as you can.
Walt Disney, I think, might still be able to come back. I've seen some things about him, but we'll see.
I think Ted Williams' head is still frozen. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
They got a chance. Yeah, I think those two got a chance. Maybe
they have to be able to figure out how to like if you have all. You don't think Jeff? We all agree that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are working on living forever, right?
Absolutely.
They are.
That's classic billionaire shit. Yeah.
You have to. If you were a billionaire, would you work on that, or would you just let it ride?
No, I'd work on it for sure.
You work on it because you think like, oh, look how much success I have and all this money I have. I want to like it's the best life possible,
and you want to keep doing it,
right?
For a long time.
That's why Bezos is like jacked. Bezos is like, I got to get in good shape. I got to be in shape.
I watched this.
Bezos is jacked.
He is jacked.
He's jacked now.
I watched this YouTube documentary on if we're real or not. Is reality real? The simulation argument. It's got 17 million views. It's basically this YouTube page, Kurzges. I don't know how to say it.
Sounds right.
Kurzgesagt. It's like a German word. Somehow,
sounds like you tried to say something backwards.
Kurzgesagt. Dude, it's a fucking German word. Basically, okay. I think the American way to say the name is In a Nutshell, is what their title name is. Go watch this video. I'm gonna send it to you. You're not gonna believe this argument. Like we're not real.
I don't think I can handle that right now at this point in my life, but I'll watch it at some point.
Essentially, it makes the argument like, what if we're just in someone's simulation computer where the Big Bang was just a computer starting up, and like we're just essentially living amongst this simulation that some other being has a million different simulations going on of like outcomes and lives and different types of outcomes in this universe, and we're just living in our simulation where things are just happening the way that they wanted it to happen, or we're part of this lab. Who could ever argue against it? We don't know the answer, right? So it's a theory.
Listeners of this podcast had to know Frankie Borelli was one day going to stumble upon the simulation theory, and it was going to hurt him. It was going to hurt him bad, and it seems like we just got there.
They've been waiting for this moment. They're like, oh, this is it, finally.
Yeah. I'll watch it. Maybe I'll watch it in a few months, but it seems like something that's going to scare me.
The top comment on the video cracked me up. Said, bro, the graphics are cool, but the finding a partner achievement is almost impossible.
It's like, come on, help me out.
Oh, shit. All right. Yeah, I don't have much else here. I'm going to do some digging and seeing what kind of football field we can go to. If Trent and I can get to one this week, that'd be fun. Maybe, we'll drag Jake Bass out there. He'll fucking behead us for trying to add another video on his plate. But I don't know that you can do that during school hours. So we need to find a football field that's not associated with a high school, which I don't know that those exist now that I think about it. Do football
just random football fields where people just go play football? No, I don't think
those exist. Then even you only have 110 yards. You got to do one where like you can go beyond the fence and like from the parking lot, 170 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
We'll have to look.
I'll do some digging. There might be one here on Long Island where they play. There's like a turf soccer field that I think has football posts up. We'll figure it out. If we don't do it now by Super Bowl, which it will kill me. If you're a listener, you know that I think this is a great idea. You can tell. I keep talking about it. If I don't get it out by Super Bowl, it'll fucking kill me. I'll edit it myself if I have to. I will do everything I can to get this video out.
A couple little notes. I said that I followed a few folks yesterday. Kevin Chappell and Pat Perez both had the stealth in, both rocking the stealth.
And Pat Perez is really
Perez?
Pat Perez is really picky when it comes to equipment. We've been at his house where he gets a bunch of equipment sent to him and he's like, this fucking thing sucks, and he just tosses it on the ground. He's got a million shafts, million different heads, because he's not a guy that is set to one. They call him like a free agent, right? So he can kind of move around. TaylorMade says they have a ton of free agents in the field every week. That's awesome to know that they're using the stealth. It's the best golf club possible.
Yeah, I was with both of them, and I noticed at their first tee shot. I was like, wow, these guys have the stealth. Stealth's obviously awesome. We got our video coming out tonight, so reminder, check that out. But also check out barstoolsports.com/TaylorMade. Tour Response golf ball is something that they like to highlight because it clearly doesn't cost as much. Still a phenomenal golf ball. You can check out. We got like custom ones. We got all kinds of cool stuff. So reminder, video coming out on the Foreplay YouTube channel. Check that out tonight because it's very cool. It's fun. It's a great insight into the stealth and how everybody picks up yardage. Frankie and Lurch were hitting absolute bombs. Even I was picking up pretty serious yardage. barstoolsports.com/TaylorMade. Go check out the new stealth because guys that are free agents, as they call them, are using that thing willingly and they love it. I went up to both of them and said, what are you thinking of that new stealth? They're both like, it's fucking awesome. That's why I'm using it. That's why I'm choosing to use it. They could choose to use any driver in the world, and those two guys are choosing to use the stealth.
You know who else chooses
in tournament
to use it?
play?
Tiger Woods.
His first tournament back.
When deciding on what golf club you want to use, think to yourself, Tiger Woods had the same option, and he chose the stealth. Now, what am I going to choose? You think you know more than Tiger Woods? You're going to go buy some inferior weapon? What are you, nuts? It's like showing up to a fucking missile fight with a wooden sword.
Nice. All right. TaylorMade stealth, thing's awesome. Enjoy the week. Enjoy Waste Management. If you're out here, if you're going to be out here, you see me, say hi. I'm going to be all over that place. I'm excited. I'm going to do a mix. I'm going to be kind of inside the ropes. I'm going to be hanging. I'm going to be on 16. I'm just going to be soaking it all up. So we'll be around. Enjoy the Super Bowl when we're back. We'll have a lot to break down, a lot to react to. It'll be Genesis week, Riviera. So there's a lot to get to.
Soaking it up like a Mormon.
Enjoy Scott Eastwood. Frankie's clearly lost it, so we're gonna end the show now. Enjoy this interview.
All right, we're going to roll right into it. We got Scott Eastwood here joining us on Foreplay Golf Podcast. Thank you for joining the show. Probably the best-looking person we've ever had on the golf podcast ever. I mean, I can't – Trent, I don't know about you, but who could possibly be hotter than Scott Eastwood?
I don't know. He's definitely near the top. Certainly better looking than anyone on the show consistently. Josh Duhamel, we had Josh Duhamel on the show. You two are the two hot guys we've had on the show.
Wow. I just played golf with them for 4 days in a row at the AT&T Pro-Am.
Hell of a foursome. I mean, you want to talk about looking power, that thing, you're not going to be able to beat that. You've got your new show on Amazon coming out, your new movie, I Want You Back. You're starring alongside Charlie Day. It's your first, comedic role. Talk to us a little bit about that before we get into some golf talk. I'm hearing awesome reviews about it. I love rom-coms, so really excited for this.
Yeah, look, this is a really cool one. It's one of these scripts you read and you laugh out loud immediately. And the young, really cool director, Jason Orley. Wow, I can't speak highly about him. He's just he is so cool. He directed a movie called Big Time Adolescence that I had seen and was really impressed with. And immediately I knew that I had to work with this guy. And he had a vision for the film that was unlike a lot of rom-coms I'd seen. His inspiration was When Harry Met Sally. And I really think he over-delivered on that vision.
Yeah, I saw in an interview that you did that you would have enjoyed to watch the movie. How often does that happen where you take into account, like, all right, I'd actually want to sit down, pay for it, and watch it? Has every movie you've ever done had that same feel, or does this one feel a little bit different?
No, this one feels different. You kind of know the special ones when they're happening. Everybody collectively on set is, sort of he's got that, thing. They look, you kind of pinch each other and go, I think this one's going to work. And it's interesting, like you said, certain movies you make, and when you go to watch them, it's not as enjoyable because you've been there, you've done it, you kind of know all the jokes, or all the bits. This one is really entertaining to watch for me because there's a multiple storylines going on at the same time. So there's a lot of stuff that I didn't see that was filmed and it was executed. You read it on the script, but you don't know how it's going to turn out. So getting to watch it, I was really entertained.
That's so crazy to me that you guys film these movies, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're in all these movies, the list goes on and on and on, and you don't really know how it's going to look, especially with CGI and isn't that like nerve-wracking to you to be able to, how do you stay in character not knowing what the other things are going on? It's not like a real life situation. You're not bouncing off what happened in the other scene. You're kind of just reading your lines, doing your thing. Do you ever struggle with that, like having to stay within the character when you don't know what else is happening?
I don't know if I struggle with that per se. I think, look, film it's a collaboration. So any of the struggles that happen on set or while you're filming are usually creative differences. So one person sees it one way, one actor sees another, a director sees it another way. It's just trying to find a symbiotic way to make it work. Everyone's got their own ideas, and you have to be able to work together.
Right. Yeah, no, we're huge fans of movies, and I just love to get that peek behind the curtain. It's just, there's a lot more that goes into it. It's almost, you can equate it a little bit to the golf game. You're playing a four rounds of golf, and that caddy and pro combination and how much goes into that behind the scenes and working off each other and having that dynamic, to me, is just so cool to be able to see, how the sauce is kind of made.
Yeah. I mean, caddies probably get in arguments with their players, right? You got to learn how to work together. Someone might see it a different way, a different shot, or, have a different read on a putt. And, it's, do you go with your call, or do you go with your caddy's call? And I think that's, that's the kind of the same thing happens in film sometimes. Sometimes you got to just sacrifice, and sometimes you got to put your foot down and say, no, I see it like this.
I wonder what the dynamic was between Greller and Spieth on the 8th hole when Spieth was dangling off of the cliff. You're a huge Pebble Beach guy. Have you ever seen anyone come that close to standing off of 8 and swinging a 90-mile-an-hour swing on 8?
I know, that's it's kind of terrifying. I don't know. He after the fact, I think he came back and said he regretted hitting that shot, as I think it got him a little anxious. I don't know if he just, looking back, he decided, well, that was, you know what, maybe I didn't need to hit that shot. But it was, I don't know. I thought it was pretty exciting and pretty cool to see.
Well, I wonder if he thinks part of him might think that people are going to try this shot now because you see it and it just looks so scary. But there's people out there who maybe play Pebble Beach that want to give it a shot. If your ball had ended up there, are you stepping up to it and trying to hit it?
Oh, hell yeah. Why not? All those cameras around, you got to do it. You got to just get up there and hit that shot.
Well, the why not is the 68-foot fall if your foot slips.
That's 68 feet. Come on. Short distance. It's fine.
I will say it's legitimately iconic now because every time they play that tournament now, every time anyone plays that golf course, people are going to think of that shot. And you already see all the clips, all the pictures of it. It really was an awesome shot, if we're being honest.
It was. And that is, I don't know if you've played that hole before. It's 8, I believe. It's a hard hole. it is hard. I had a great drive, great second shot approach in the bunker, barely hung on, but in the bunker. That green, that placement, it's just the hole's a motherfucker. And it's sort of precluded me. I've had a tough time cracking that hole. And I get why I had to hit that shot. You just got to go for it. You want to nail that hole. Cause it's a son of a,
So we've been lucky enough to play Pebble Beach a couple of times, and my co-host Frankie here, he actually played the 8th hole terrifically one time. I'm sure he'll be happy to explain it to you.
Well, it's like a running gag at this point. Every guest we have, I talk to them about what I did on the 8th hole. We were playing relatively close to one of the tournaments that were there. Maybe it was right after the Farmers, and we had watched guys playing that hole our whole lives. And I ripped a 3-wood from the back tees. It went right to the edge of the fairway, split the fucking thing in half. Take a 6-iron, the wind's coming off from left to right. It's blowing. I hit it. I'm a lefty, so it draws in from left to right, hits the back of the green, rolls back. Now, I will say the worst part of the story is I missed the birdie putt, but I did make an easy, simple 4, which on 8, we all know is essentially an eagle on most holes because of all the things you're talking about.
Yeah. And if you end up above that hole for any reason, you're fucked. You can't get up and down. It's just, no matter where you chip it on that green, it's going to run off. Either it's going to run off the top side into the bunker, or it's going to run off the down all the way down. You need to, I imagine your putt was an uphill putt, right?
Yes, it was.
You just have to position yourself right. And it's just, it's a motherfucker.
Yeah. The only regret I think Spieth should have about that shot that he hit is that he didn't hit a better shot. Because if he hit it over the green, and if he hits it, like if he throws a dart in there, then we're really talking about a replay that we're going to be seeing over and over and over again. Your golf game, what where you at with it? How do you feel about it? How long you been playing? What's all that about?
I've been playing since I was a kid. I played junior golf. I played a little bit of high school golf, and then girls I think became more important.
Yeah.
I wish that I had stuck with it. I'm a respectable golfer, but I got to work at it. It's practice. I think I'm indexing right now right around 10.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a single digit, and my goal this year is to practice a lot and get my shave off probably 5. I want to get down to 5 or a 6. That's what I'd really like to be playing at.
Yeah. So AT&T at Pebble Beach, it's long history with you, your dad, your family. Did I see that in past years your schedule just didn't allow you to play? Was this your first year playing in a while?
Yeah. I had said yes a few years ago, and then I had to cancel because of movie stuff. I just had movie schedules taking me abroad. And it was, just something I really wanted to do, while my dad's still around. I really wanted to, it's a lot of history dating back to 1937, when Bing Crosby had his first Pro-Am. And it's just there's so much golf history and around it. It's also a really cool event. It raises a lot of money for charity. So I just wanted to be a part of it.
I'm sure you've talked with your dad about it at length. Did he ever tell you, because he's been around it for so long, any story that stuck out to you that was really like, wow, that sort of encapsulates what this event is about or should be about?
Well, I don't know if it encapsulates what the event should be about, but it's a great anecdote. I think he was 21, and he was in the Army in Fort Ord, which is up there near Carmel. Him and his buddy had snuck down. This is like 1951 or 52 or something. Him and his buddy had snuck down during the tournament, hopped the fence, snuck into the clam bake, and ate all the food, hobnobbed with whatever celebrities were there at the time. And this is before my dad was, he was pumping gas and working at a gas station before Clint Eastwood was Clint Eastwood. And so it's really, it always, hearing stories like that are really quite interesting.
Yeah, man. The love for your father is, it's got to be so. Talk to me a little bit about how, like, when you're driving around AT&T and you see, after all these years, he's still the legendary Clint Eastwood. It's never once wavered from the time that he first was seen on screen till now. Isn't that just an incredible thing to be able to see how many people are still just so obsessed with him and his aura and his story, and just he encapsulates. For me, I mean, I'm 28 years old. And I'm like the man that you always want to be is Clint Eastwood. It's never changed. There's never been that next guy. He's still the guy.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, no, he's a testament, man. He's an inspiration to me daily. Just his work ethic, his his ethos, those things, his code, code of conduct. I think how you behave as a man, as a gentleman. Those are important things, and those are things that I believe in, and I think are things that at least that are really important in my life. So I got to thank him for those.
Totally.
You said you're trying to get down your handicap down. What are we trying to work on? Like, what are the strong parts of your game? What are the weak parts of your game?
I would say my long irons are where I struggle. My putting is pretty good. I can read the greens pretty well. My driver is actually a few months ago, my driver wasn't so hot. I was slicing it a lot. But we've been able to, with new technology, it's incredible. We've been able to dial in the driver, and now I feel like I'm hitting it really straight. And yeah, it's just not making errors. There's little errors here and there, tough sand shots that I should be able to be, instead of just out and happy to be, out and 15 feet away, I need to get 5 feet away and give myself that opportunity to make those putts, and tightening up my long irons.
Long irons are
tough.
tough.
What's funny about the long iron, something to think about. We just got fit at the Kingdom out in San Diego, in Carlsbad for TaylorMade. And one of the things that they were telling us, we're huge golfers, love golf, everything about it. So we also love the aesthetic of golf. We love those butter knife type irons and the things that the pros use.
Blades, me too.
So everything about them is like, they look pretty, they look awesome, but there's a way to get around that where, like, for long irons, actually, my guy who was fitting me at the Kingdom was like, you should think about maybe your 4, 5, and 6 going with a more forgiving club. Like, for them, they're releasing the Stealth with TaylorMade. And I never really thought about that, having a little bit more of a cavity for those long irons. And I'm actually thinking about adding those. So they actually are sending me, the P790, which is essentially like, it looks like a blade. And then they're going to send me the forgiving long iron. I think I'm going to end up switching. I've never thought about comparing 2 different clubs in one set, but it's really, I think that should be the way for every average golfer that's trying to get better. It really opened my eyes to it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And someone else had pointed that out to me too. They're like, just those blades are so tough to hit, especially when you get to the 6 and the 5 and the 4. It's just, I'm the same way. I have, I think, an ego in it that I hit blades, and that's what I hit. And I think probably I have a slightly more control over the ball than I do. But that's a good idea. I should probably get in there and hit a bunch of different, slightly more cavity back. I think there's got to be like something different, something in between, like a true cavity back and a blade. Something that's just in between.
It's funny, we did this. So they were trying to show us at TaylorMade, like, this is what every golfer on the planet, unless you're on tour, should be hitting, because we all have egos. They're like, you guys should never be hitting anything aside from these huge iron stealth irons. And So they showed it to the two guys that couldn't make it today, Riggs and Lurch, and those guys can absolutely pound the ball, Lurch in particular. And he hits, he takes his 4-iron, the stealth 4-iron, which is so forgiving, and he hit a 245-yard 4-iron. And we're all looking around being like, now, why wouldn't you select that iron? And it's all about look. It's all about ego, and it's all about trying to be cool out there on the golf course. But if you really cared about your score and you're trying to get your handicap down as low as possible, why wouldn't you use every advantage you possibly can? We're such a fucked up breed, the golfers. You know what I mean? We have no sense of reality. Like, we're trying to go lower, use the easier club, but we won't. We refuse.
I love that, man. I love that. It's so true. And, if you could hit, 240 yard is a 4-iron you said he hit?
Yeah.
That's why even hit a wood? Why even have the air of a wood, just hit a 4-iron. But yeah, I gotta get in there and see, I gotta get some work on my long irons.
So, and I Want You Back, which is actually coming out February 11th. You take the shirt off, you pop the top a little bit. You're talking to a couple guys. You're talking to a couple guys that if we show a little bit of skin on YouTube,
just a couple guys want to see me take my
It
shirt
was funny.
off.
It was funny when he mentioned he was talking about he was like, I played a little high school golf and then I got a little sidetracked because the girls became so much of an issue. Not so much of an issue for the two guys that you're talking to. Like, I went right through high school, right through college, didn't get all that distracted, but I could see, a man in your position could get a little distracted.
Should have stuck with high school golf.
dude, Scott, this picture fucking came out of me the other day. Someone snapped a photo from the ground, and I was drinking a water and laughing. And the replies on Twitter were mean. It went viral in Barstool Sports world. Everyone, the top response was one of those dodgeballs that you use in gym class. They said, this is Frankie's skull. It was just a round red ball. So I'd be remiss to not ask you, one of the best chiseled looking, best people we've ever on the podcast. What is your number one tip or health tip for trying to tighten things up? We're just average guys blogging about golf. We play once a week. We're not that active. What would you say is the best thing for me to get going? How do I tighten up the face fat? How do I get rid of the neck and the cheeks?
Easy,
Talk to me.
easy. I got it just for you. And a simple deal. You just get some of that. I hate to, it's gonna sound cliche, but just start hitting that intermittent fasting. Your last meal at 5 or 6, early meal, and then get a little light workout after that. Or if you choose to work out in the evening, hit that after. Don't eat anything until 10 or 11 the next day and have your first meal. And then just rinse and repeat. Eat. I don't even care. You don't have to be that strict on your diet. If you just eat in that block of hours and then work out, kind of get the body moving. At least you don't need a big workout, but don't eat anything. Don't eat any late night eating, any bullshit like that. And then you can have whatever you want during those hours.
God, that's so hard though. Oh my God.
How am I not supposed to snack? How am I not supposed to be eating Sour Patch Kids at midnight? How am I supposed to not do that?
Dude, discipline. No.
That I don't have. Frankie's got a wedding coming up in like a year-ish, so he's really got to figure this thing out.
There it is.
Will he? Probably not.
Well, we got a lot of things to work on. You've got your long irons to work on. I've got my long neck to work on. We've got a lot of shit that we got to figure out. Go check out Scott's new movie, Amazon. I Want You Back. It's starting to stream on February 11th. Thanks for coming on, dude. You and your family, huge legends, and we can't thank you enough for coming on here. And we hope to see you out there at Pebble one of these years when we're coming to the tournaments.
Yeah, 100%. Let me know when you're coming up, or anytime you're going up there. I usually do a golf trip up there a couple times a year. Or if you're ever out in Texas, let me know. We'll tee it up.
Dude, love that. Yeah, we got to get to Texas.
Awesome.
Because there's unbelievable golf out there, so that's definitely a must.
Austin, that's where it's at.
Appreciate the time.
All right, Scott. Appreciate the time, my man.
All right, see you.